Hello, good people. Welcome back to the Kuhb Games YouTube channel. Before you see a water control deck that got top 16 at the recent GFC EU, and what better player to pilot it than Void? You all may remember this duelist from Water Week, which was probably a couple of months back now, but Void has had some success in a GFC prior, and now made it to the top cut into top 16 with this water control deck, something that you don't see a lot of at all in GOAT format anymore, but water is back on top. So Void, go ahead and introduce yourself to the people.
Hey guys, it's Void. In case you don't know, I also have a YouTube channel, Void Goat Format. So if you guys want to see some additional content, make sure to check that out as well. And also Kuhb, thank you so much for having me back at the channel. It's an honor. And I'd absolutely love to talk about this deck.
Absolutely.
So basically, for anyone that's seen the deck during the Water Week, this is almost one-to-one the same deck. And this is basically the deck that I took to previous GFC, and I got 18th place. This time, I actually managed to get into the top 16, fortunately. Yeah, I use this deck because I'm very comfortable with it, and I believe in it. And I think it definitely has potential. So the main difference is that this time, instead of 2 Aqua Spirits, I'm main decking only 1. And I'm actually main decking the Mirror Force instead of keeping it in the side. The MVP of the deck, I would say, definitely is Royal Decree. It's just so good because, basically all the top decks run a bunch of traps. So if you get to activate it early on, it basically shuts down a lot of your opponent's plays. And as for the side deck, some key changes worth noting. Basically, I added some Mystic Walks. I added a third Saku. I took out the Threatening Roars from the previous side, and I also added double Zambira. So basically, yeah, you can tell there's a lot of, aggro hate. And of course, there's some control hate with the Serra Priests. And even some burn, even though, unfortunately, in the tournament, I didn't get to play against any burn decks. But yeah, I think it's a very solid deck. It plays basically just kind of like standard GOAT control, but it's a little bit more aggro. The goal is to, try to push a little bit more aggressively with the Mother Grizzlies, with the Abyss Soldier and Mobius. And of course, this deck obviously lacks a strong boss monster such as BLS. So that's why we have to main deck double creature swap. And that's why I personally also chose to main deck Mind Control, because not only does it help take care of opposing chaos monsters, but also it basically makes your spy better, and you get to just take care of flip monsters in general. So
Sure.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Sure. So, what draws you? I know you said this deck was a little bit more aggressive, and I definitely think that is true when compared to some of the other control decks that we're used to seeing. But what draws you to play water control over some of the other water variants that we've got in the format?
Yeah. So basically, I would say the main reason why I play water control specifically is it's just simply because I think it's the version that has the most potential when it comes to how good the deck is. Me personally, if I didn't really care about that, I would just play a Levi Dragon Daedalus deck because that's my favorite water monster. I just feel like a deck like that is weaker, and I really want to bring water into the competitive scene, even if it's just considered a rogue deck. And yeah, it kind of sucks because to some people this is kind of just a standard GOAT control list with some water monsters splashed into it. But sometimes it's got to be like that, because we all want to have unique, different decks that perform super good. But in GOAT format, it's with the card pool, it's kind of limited. So you kind of have to work with what you can and try to maximize the power of certain deck types that way.
Sure. Yeah, I think, you've got Mother Grizzly, you've got Aqua Spirit, you've got Mobius here in the main. You have two Abyss Soldier, which I know a lot of people are only playing one of, if they're playing it at
Yeah.
all in Go Control. It's definitely a water deck. Like you're using the
Right.
water engine coupled with a control deck. At least in my mind, I don't think there's any doubt that this is a water deck. But speaking of the Aqua Spirit, sort of my next question. I know we had talked a little bit about the Aqua Spirit numbers last time we did a video. How are you feeling about one in the list now?
I think it's great. Honestly, um, I think that like I wouldn't cut it because I think it's still a good card and it's really nice that it allows you to push more aggressively if you have like a water monster in the graveyard. Sometimes it can even get you out of sticky situations with its effect. Honestly, its effect is pretty you know, underrated, but I brick a lot less. Funny enough though, despite that, I still side it out a lot
Sure.
because out of all the monsters, I do still think it's the weakest link. But I'm definitely happy with a single copy in the main deck.
Sure. If only they had given this thing, like 200, 300 more attack, get it on the level of Gigantes or
Yeah.
something, it'd be a lot better for sure.
Yeah, that would have made it a lot more playable for sure.
Oh, yeah. Moving on from the Aqua Spirit, though, another, I guess, sort of interesting choice is you have all three copies of Scapegoat and all three copies of Metamorphosis. I know Metamorphosis, like, you have, like, even better access to Spirit Reaper, or not Spirit Reaper, Lord, Sinister Serpent, because you do have these two Mother Grizzlies. So I like all three copies of Metamorphosis, but what do you think of the full control package of all three Scapegoats, all three Metamorphosis in this deck?
Yeah, so regarding that, I figured because this is basically like a decree variant, and obviously, you're gonna have less traps, less defense in general. I felt like it was definitely a must to play triple copies of Scapegoat. Although, despite that, because I do have the spies and I do have Mother Grizzly, sometimes it can be in conflict with too many copies of Scapegoat. Actually, one of my matches, unfortunately, I couldn't catch it. My opponent didn't catch it either. Basically, my opponent ended up attacking into my spy, which forced its effect.
Hmm.
And my opponent used Tribe to destroy it. But during the end phase, I just didn't think of it. I ended up activating the Scapegoat, which ended up giving me a warning from one of the staff members. So sometimes, it can be conflicting having too many. I still think it's worth running triple Scapegoat though, uh, just simply for the defense aspect, and regarding the metamorphosis, because the monster lineup, like you don't have BLS, you don't have DD Warrior Lady, or basically spot removal
Hmm.
to the same extent as other decks, or like Chaos Control. It even has Chaos Sorcerer. You just simply have to rely a lot on your spell cards, whether it's Metamorphosis, Creature Swap, Mind Control. That really helps you get rid of problematic cards. So maybe I could experiment with double Scapegoat, but Metamorphosis, I definitely keep it at 3.
Sure. No, that makes a whole lot of sense to me. You're also not the only one that's ever been guilty of, someone with spy, then flip scapegoat. I do that all the time still. But that
Yeah.
kind of stuff's just gonna happen. But no, all of that reasoning makes a whole lot of sense to me. And you also touched on that you are a decree deck. That was my next question. So this is all just segueing perfectly here. What drew you to playing a decree version of the deck versus where a lot of people are going towards solemn judgment?
Yeah, so that basically kind of also ties into the monster lineup of the deck. The reason why I chose the decree route is it's because of the main deck Mobius. I think that the two really go hand in hand, and really the monster lineup doesn't really have any advantage necessarily over like a standard chaos list. But if you run Royal Decree and you have the Mobius and you have just this whole water package, it really kind of helps push the whole game plan of it, not just being a control deck, but being leaning more towards the aggressive side. And it's really just a meta call because there's a lot of warrior decks going around. There's burn decks, and I think it's really good against Chaos Turbo too because Chaos Turbo decks run a good amount of trap cards too. So if you're able to just activate Royal Decree early on and manage to get out a Mobius, then you basically get to go +2 potentially. So I think that it pairs really nicely with the monster lineup.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense to me there. Going forward, after your success in the GFC, would you make any other changes to the deck? I know it was just minimally changed from the last time that we recorded, but did you notice anything that maybe you'd want to change for the future?
For the main deck, currently no. I think I'd probably keep it like this for now, but definitely the side deck. Uh, I don't know. I feel like I need to work on my side deck skills. And for example, Mystic Walk, I had double copies of that, but I never ended up siding it. Sure, it's still a relevant card in general, but I was kind of missing Threatening Roar, for example, from my previous side deck. So definitely gonna tinker with that a little bit more.
Sure. Sounds good to me. So at least like regarding your tournament experience, did you play against any sweet decks, or did you get the full Chaos Turbo suite for 2 days?
Well, interestingly enough, I would say probably the most unique deck that I played against. I don't think it was an exact replica, but it was very similar to Easy to Slay Use deck with Gummos, the spider.
Shout out to Gumo Sumo.
Um,
Shout out to Easy to Slay You for actually winning the tournament. Congrats to him.
for real, congratulations to Easy to Slay You. That was well deserved. It's a good deck for
Yeah, for
sure.
sure.
But yeah, for that, the honestly, for me in particular, as you can imagine, the matchup wasn't really difficult because I don't even know how many traps exactly it runs. It runs like close to 20 traps. So
Yep.
as you can imagine, Decree pretty much takes care of things.
Yeah, I would imagine like between Decree and the Scapegoat and Metamorphosis and Mother Grizzly and Mobius and Creature Swap, you should be just fine in that matchup, I would imagine, right?
Yeah. So that was relatively an easy matchup for me.
All right. Did you have anything else you wanted to say about the tournament experience before we get into your round one replay?
I just wanted to say that I definitely gave Swiss another chance, and I'll definitely be playing again in the future. So, yeah,
Absolutely. I definitely look forward to you playing in more tournaments and winning more with these very unique, spicy decks. But yeah, we are going to jump into the round one replay that Void has promised me is the greatest match of Yu Gi Oh! Of all time. All right, here we are. We've got the round one replay. Void's going to be kind of going over some of the thought processes that he had during this match. But looks like a really good opener here after drawing that Graceful Charity, right?
yeah. So I was feeling pretty confident game one. Obviously, I fired off the Graceful Charity right off the bat,
Yep, makes sense
and
to me.
with Sinister being in the hand, it was a no-brainer.
Hmm.
But I also just figured, Book of Moon, I didn't really care to keep it. So that's why I also just decided to discard that as well.
Sure.
Here, I think I just said, yeah, the Grizzly and Decree, I believe.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Play around the knock, of course. You get this Moth here. Maybe get the Graceful Charity back with the Sinister Serpent. Blow the opponent out. Makes sense to me.
Yep,
And the like worst case, like I guess best case, they don't have the knock. We do see the opponent does. They attack into this Mother Grizzly and get some value out of that too.
exactly. Yeah, and the opponent did end up having the knock.
Hmm.
So, yeah, I didn't really care for it because, I was just going to set the Faith next turn.
Sure.
And I also had Scapegoat. That gave me an idea. Basically, I have double Scapegoat. If the Faith goes through, I could just basically discard the second Scapegoat for
Yeah,
Graceful again.
that makes a lot of sense. Just set that Scapegoat, set the Moth, Dust Tornado on the Scapegoat. You can even protect it with the Royal Decree. I was going to say, that doesn't really matter because you have this backup Scapegoat, so that's actually pretty good. But yeah, I mean, just keep it around, flip this Royal Decree, really punish the opponent, and like, you're not under any pressure here at all, which is pretty nice. Still not under any pressure, but well, I guess the Trap Dushu doesn't do anything because this Decree. Well, I guess we
Yeah, unfortunately,
speaking a little too early. Here's an MST over here, but
right. Yeah, you're gonna see something interesting happens here. I was feeling super confident, but my opponent actually played it pretty well, thanks to the MST.
hmm so
But
they
also,
said a bunch.
fortunately, yeah. So I think yeah, he activates it in the standby phase to get rid of the decree so that he can
Yeah,
chain his trap cards.
sure. Sometimes you'll see it,
But here,
a little backwards here. Like the opponent will activate the trap dust shoot, chain the MST, but this works out just fine too.
yeah, sometimes the opponents do it the other way around.
hmm
Yeah, he gets rid of the serpent, but honestly, I'm not too worried because I already have like so many resources and like I said, the second scapegoat to discard. So
hmm And you drew the
like I'm not
Sangan too.
really
Just grab the Sinister Serpent anytime.
exactly yeah.
You get the Graceful Charity
And
back and
unfortunately,
fire it off.
yeah, unfortunate for my opponent to not draw any monsters too.
Right, yeah. Not having any pressure here is just, obviously great because you can just keep building up these resources.
Yeah. If the Mother Grizzly didn't get knocked, I probably would have kept the Aqua Spirit to just, try to apply a little bit more pressure, but here
Sure.
is, is doing nothing. Also, could you look at the opponent's graveyard really quick?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it was kind of generic, even though maybe the Dust Tornado should have probably given me the hint that I'm playing against Warriors.
Yep.
So maybe I should have discarded one of the knocks, honestly.
I was thinking about that. I don't know. Like, you could sort of read it as Warriors. That's kind of where I had the opponent. But I guess I also understand discarding the Scapegoat as well because maybe it's one of I guess you could potentially have some sort of like a flip warrior or a chaos warrior that's playing flips, and the
Right.
knock could come in handy. Whereas the second Scapegoat, like facing zero pressure here, it's kind of dead. So you just kind of got a few dead
Yeah,
cards
that's,
in this hand. So I can understand why you would discard Scapegoat in the moment.
yeah, and the Aqua Spirit was just kind of dead anyway, so
Yeah. Yep. I like the summon Sangan. Just try to get in there. Be be a really tough mirror force for the opponent to use here.
yeah. There's just not much value for the opponent.
Okay, they do draw the Rhoda here. So I wonder. I'm gonna go ahead and say they're gonna get DD Warrior Lady here. Try to take out the Sangan. Dawn's a Lug. Okay,
Yeah.
that's another option as well.
I guess the opponent probably thought the back row wasn't anything to worry about, so
hmm That makes sense.
and also to, kind of balance out the resources.
Sure. And the noblemen of
That was
crossouts are
pretty
just glued to your hand.
bad. Yeah. That was pretty bad.
Yeah. Had you been able to take this with a creature swap, though, that would have been huge. Like the opponent would have to mirror force it. But
Oh yeah.
Metamorphosis also pretty good here.
I kind of just because I had the scapegoat, I would just rather, use the metamorphosis on a scapegoat instead of the serpent. Also here,
hmm
I didn't add back serpent. I was kind of like trying to play around dust shoot, but it was kind of like oh wait, never
Yeah,
mind. I'm
you're
sorry. I
yeah.
don't have the serpent yet.
Yeah, your servant
My
already
bad.
got dust
My
shot.
bad. Yeah, my bad. My bad. I wanted to play around the second one, but
Sure.
it didn't really work out. I mean, either way, next turn I'm gonna draw a fourth card in my hand.
Yeah. But at least you got the value out of the knock. Taking out a Dust Tornado, that's always pretty nice.
Oh yeah, for
The
sure.
opponent is drawing their monsters now, but I still like your position a lot, especially getting a Gravekeeper Spy here. Just kind of wall up for eternity.
Yeah, here we're basically, my idea was to obviously just use Metamorphosis next turn. Even if my opponent has Mirror Force like he
Sure.
does, I wasn't really worried because the Spy is going to do a really good job at walling the opponent.
Absolutely. And like if they do have the battle trap, now you take that away, you still take one of their monsters, you're still walling up like forever. Now you have a mirror force. Yeah. I like this a lot. I think this puts you
Exactly.
way ahead if you weren't already ahead.
Right.
But yeah, opponent forced to mirror force here. It's totally fine. And Solemn Judgment isn't the best card in the world for the opponent. It's not bad, but
Yeah, I mean that Don Zalug is still applying some pressure. But of course the Mirror Force stops it here.
yep. Was this sort of just a play to sort of just like clear the Donzalug and then start getting a little bit more on the offensive side of things with the Gravekeeper Spy?
Yeah, I figured the opponent's Mirror Force was gone. So I wanted to just get rid of Zalug because I didn't have any immediate answer. And I just wanted to start applying more pressure while
Okay,
it's, more of a simplified game state.
sure, that makes sense to me. We do see the opponent set the Solemn Judgment. Here's a Delinquent Duo. All right. Ooh, we're gonna draw out a Solemn Judgment on this too? Okay.
Yeah.
I like this a lot. Go down to 3350, but like you've got this Prima, you can get back Sangan and get back the Spy if you wanted to for a little extra damage. I love playing the
Oh, yeah.
duo here as well.
Yeah, I figured I'm not gonna get much more value out of it by waiting, so I might as well just fire it.
Yep, I like this play as well. Just get back the
And
Sangan.
Sangan.
Using the Prima on Gravekeeper Spy.
Yep.
It would cut the clock a little bit by like a turn, but it's a naked Gravekeeper Spy. It's not great. I like the Sangan a lot more, of course.
Yeah, and just like with my opponent getting breaker here, adding back Sangan was very nice because I could just add a Serpent if I need, or Mother Grizzly, or just whatever.
Yep. Here we're just chilling. Sangan gets to stay. I understand the opponent, of course, taking out the go tokens rather than just giving you a free search off of Sangan. But
Right.
oh, okay. This could well, it could backfire, could not backfire. I guess you give like obviously you don't know your opponent's one card in hand is Snatch Steal. It could very easily just be a BLS or some sort of random card. But
Yeah, I knew the opponent didn't have any lights in the graveyard, so I wasn't really worried about BLS. But with that set Heavy Storm, and it's so nice that I was able to bait out the breaker with knock.
yeah,
Because here, even though my opponent uses the snatch, I just basically have an answer for it.
yep. Would also like to go back to the point where I said you don't know if your opponent has flip effects in the deck, and they do have Gravekeeper Spy, so maybe keeping those knocks around potentially could have been useful.
True, actually, yeah. But they did good, for what it's worth. They were kind of useless at the moment, and I was able
Oh,
to
yeah.
bait out my opponent twice, so that
Yeah,
was
yeah,
pretty
you
decent.
definitely got some value out of those knocks that appeared to be dead at the time.
And
This
the
is pretty
creature
good.
swap here was basically perfect.
Oh yeah. Take the Mobius, summon them off. Yep. Creature swap, gimme, gimme. All right. Taking down game one. I mean, kind of just like pulled ahead the way that Control does if Warriors can't get ahead with a bit of an early game. Just kind of never relinquished the control. Just kind of took over.
Right. And unfortunately, it doesn't show, the side deck process. As far as I remember, I think I put in the Zombiris here,
Okay.
and I took out one of the decrees, I took out the Nox, and I sided in, I think, triple Sakuratsu armor.
Okay, that makes sense.
Once I figured that, yeah.
Oh, we see Compulse over here from the opponent too. So this opponent's on a little bit of a brew.
Yeah, honestly, I've been loving that I've been seeing Compulse see more play because I'm a fan of that card personally.
Oh yeah. I think that card is incredibly underrated.
Yeah, for sure.
Opponent starting
Here,
off on the
this
summon set 4.
Yeah, this was very unfortunate for me because I drew double Grizzly, so even though I could still
Mm,
get a Serpent out, like it really made the Grizzly a lot weaker. And of course, with the opponent having two monsters, just the single Serpent isn't going to be enough
right.
to to last for Mobius as a tribute.
Hmm. Makes sense. Yep. No reason. Yeah, I don't hate setting the double scapegoat here, just in case of, MST, Dust Tornado. We do see an MST over there.
Right.
Maybe help protect the Sakuretsu armor, but the opponent's not even gonna MST. Interesting choice here.
Yeah, I
Do you
don't
see?
know why the opponent didn't end phase like destroy at least one of them.
Yeah, I guess the breaker's a little awkward. It does hit the Sakuretsu armor, but like, even if the breaker hits a scapegoat here, then you can't summon off of Mother Grizzly if you activate it.
Yeah.
So that one's a little bit of an
And
awkward play, but it's gonna work out here.
yeah, here I think I don't even chain the scapegoat. I think I opt in for the serpent.
Yep, that makes sense.
And
You get
this
your
is
serpent in
where
the
it would have
graveyard.
been nice. Yeah, it would have been nice if the second Grizzly was in the deck because I
Right.
would have used its effect to get out Serpent for Mobius.
Right. Yeah, and then you could have tributed for the Mobius. Oh, I was gonna say Metamorphosis is a really good draw here,
Yeah.
and I guess Ask and You Shall Receive. Playing around Dust Shoot here though, not grabbing back the Serpent. That makes sense too.
Yep.
No summon on the Mother Grizzly also makes sense. Opponent draws Blade Knights. It's the first Blade Knight that we've seen.
Yeah, I don't remember if my opponent summons anything. Yeah, I guess not.
No. Oh, Scapegoat gets solemned. We love that. Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
Compulse is still a little annoying here, but not activating the other
so yeah,
Scapegoat.
I think I took the damage here. Did I?
You took it from,
Yeah, I took the damage from Breaker.
yeah, yeah. Definitely not letting this Kaiku through, though. Not with the Sinister Serpent in
Oh
the
yeah.
graveyard.
Yeah, I figured I want to have a little bit more tokens, but interestingly enough, yeah, the opponent ends up activating Torrential here.
That's, that's an interesting play. So, looking back at this turn, we
Yeah, I was
Solemn Judgment at a
surprised.
Scapegoat and then went, like, minus a billion to Torrential here. Like, I get, like, wanting to keep you off of goat tokens, but if you have a Metamorphosis, like, they have the Compulse, you can clear all of the
Exactly.
tokens on the next turn. Like, I don't know about, like, I don't know what the opponent was thinking with the play, but I don't know about that one. That seemed a little aggressive to me.
Maybe the only logical, I guess, point of view is maybe the opponent thought I had a heavy storm and was afraid of it.
That's fair.
But even then, just doing all that to play around heavy storm, I don't know. I feel like I also would have probably used it by now if I actually had heavy storm.
That's very true. I guess that is a line of thinking that I didn't completely consider. But we get the Serpent back here. We draw a second Mobius for
Oh,
turn. Not the best draw.
yeah, the Mobius, honestly, I am a fan of Mobius and it definitely, helped me out a lot during the tournament, but this particular duel, I was just kind of, on the fence. I'm like, yeah, I can't afford to like be bricking on Mobius. So I think
Right.
I sided one of them out for game 3.
That's understandable. Of course, you may not have been bricking on them so much had you not drawn that second copy of Mother Grizzly earlier.
Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty bad.
We are going to set the Serpent, meta it off, get this Thousand Eyes Restrict out here, get a good suck, or at least try to. Compulse going to stop that.
Yeah, very unfortunate.
And, oh, yeah, Solemn's kind of a nail in the coffin here.
That just seals the deal for my opponent.
Yeah, 4,400. I can't think of. I can't think of anything off the top of the deck that would win in the situation of MST Solemn Judgment here. Um, that's certainly not it. Well, no, that's not going to
Yeah.
do it because it's the Solemn Judgment, but we can see how the opponent wants to play it here. This is kind of interesting. It's like, do you Solemn the Metamorphosis and then still have to contend with the rest of the hand? Or do you just like,
Interestingly, yeah, interestingly enough, because the opponent here, let's see what the opponent does. Yeah, the opponent
mhm,
solemns it. What the opponent could have done to keep the solemn to try to negate another play in case I had another play, the opponent could have just let it go through.
mhm,
And then I was actually thinking of attacking. I was thinking of getting
yep,
one of the spies attacking into the other so I could suck the Blade Knight next turn. And during the battle phase, he could have just chained MST to my attack so that
yep,
Thousand Eyes attack becomes 0. And I would
yeah.
have just lost anyway.
Yeah, that was a line that I was thinking, but the opponent could have had some sort of read that you were a little bricked um, in your hand, so maybe it was just safer to go with that. But yeah, I was definitely thinking of the MST in the battle phase too. I love taking out a Thousand Eyes Restrict like that,
Yeah,
especially when it's for game.
that's such a good strategy, honestly.
Yep. Here we are in game three, though. Uh, love to see a tournament start when you're going first and your opening hand has Delinquent Duo and Graceful Charity in it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I do think the deck, is good overall,
Hmm.
but I did get some lucky moments for sure.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna deny it.
yeah, you gotta at least get a little bit lucky in any tournament, really, to get a top
Right.
finish. But I like the conservativeness here. No need to do a whole lot. No need to play the Graceful Charity, set too much back row. Just Mother Grizzly, Sakuretsu pass.
Yeah, I really wanted to hold the graceful for Serpent.
Hmm.
I think yeah, I let the attack go through.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Yeah,
Opponent
because
doesn't have a
next turn I
whole
could
lot
just
going
use
on.
Metamorphosis. Yeah, the
Yeah.
opponent, I think that was a torrential set, right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Looks like they're gonna set everything. Sure, that's totally fine with you. Like their only way to deal with Metamorphosis. I mean, looking at it now, like they could torrential the board again. That's good for you. They could Solemn Judgment. That's good for you too. So
Yeah.
already, just right off the bat, things looking excellent. Meta gonna go ahead and grab Tear. We are gonna see that Torrential Tribute. Okay.
Yep.
You still have a normal summon if you want it, but I guess we're just gonna wait. That's totally
Yeah.
fine.
Interestingly enough, I opted not to summon the Grizzly because I wanted to actually use it as discard fodder. Since the other
Okay.
basically all of its targets are in the grave, so I figured it's not really going to be doing much.
Okay. Sure. Now that makes a lot of sense. I didn't immediately pick up on that, so I guess it would have just gotten smash and grounded anyway, so that
Yeah.
worked out. Scapegoat's not a bad draw. Do grab the Serpent back here. No Trap Dust Shoot, of course. We're just going to throw down this Graceful Charity. See if the opponent wants a Solemn
Yeah.
Judgment. I'm usually not a fan. Looks like they don't. Okay. Pretty good draws here. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, get rid of a Decree, the Sinister Serpent. That makes sense. I do think Mother Grizzly is a little bit better than the second Decree here.
Right. Yeah, because I also have two set traps, I think, so that would have only hurt
Right.
me to just, push for it.
Yep. Just attacking for 14 and passing. Opponent draws Ring here. So they've got all kinds of defense going. But, I
Yeah.
mean, so do you. So, still think you're in a totally fine position here. Especially if you're
Yeah,
just
I'm
going to
pretty
draw
much
more
just
defense.
chilling.
Yeah. Are we going to summon the Sinister Serpent and attack? We are not. Okay.
That would have been cheeky.
Yeah, nice little 22 turn clock. I know some people like to, get it out there, start getting in some chip damage, but maybe with the opponent at 6600, it's a little far away.
Honest, Yeah, honestly, yeah. Like with all the defense that I had too, like
Right.
it might have not been the worst play, to be honest. Also, I could have been able to tribute it for a Mobius potentially.
That's true. It's one of those, I don't know, it's one of those decisions that like seems like a little innocuous. Like when you're actually in the game, you're like, I'm just gonna hold the Sinister Serpent. And then you look at it and like, well, there's this way I could use it, and this way I could use it, and it's
Right.
kind of one of those interesting spots. But opponent draws Graceful Charity here, which is very good for them. It's a lot of good cards. Like you really want to keep the Spy. I guess if you discard
Yeah.
either of these, you can just get it back with Magician of Faith. Then the question is, do you want to get rid of the Ring of Destruction?
And the interesting thing here, when my opponent activated Graceful, my opponent activates not once but twice, obviously because there's a Magician of Faith as well. But
Yeah,
when warriors use Graceful, honestly, I don't really fear it much because the opponent really isn't necessarily plussing. I
right.
usually fear it when there's like Thunder Dragons or Sinister or something.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
and
It's a
yeah, as
good
you saw,
card.
like it's kind of a tough decision for the
Yeah, like it's
opponent.
a really good card in the Warrior deck when Warrior is ahead, or there's like sort of parity in the game. But it's usually not a card
Oh yeah.
outside of like discarding a Light and a Dark for a BLS that's in hand. It's not a card that usually gets the Warrior player back from being behind. And I think you've been pretty much in control of this game the whole time. So yeah, I kind of agree with you here. Like it's cool that they Graceful Charity twice, but it's not really the end of the world for you, right?
Yeah. And the opponent had to discard not only Snatch but also Ring of Destruction. So that
Right.
was a big relief for me as well.
Yep. Just get rid of this Donald. Sakuretsu. Moth can come on in. That's no big deal. Sangan's a great pickup here.
Oh yeah. I was debating if had I not drawn a monster, I was debating on whether to try to crash into the Faith, even though Book of Moon would have been
Mm-hmm.
pretty bad.
Yeah.
But
Book of Moon would have been awful there.
yeah, thankfully I picked up the Sangan.
Opponent draws another knock. So that's like, we've already seen a couple of advantages to this deck. And I kind of want to point out one was Mother Grizzly being able to grab the Sinister Serpent and just have it on the board for the Metamorphosis is really nice there.
Mhm.
And also, like, the aggressive slant of this deck. Like, this opponent's drawn two Noblemen of Crossouts, and they're just not doing anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you have
Yeah,
spies in
knock
the deck,
is
but eh.
knock isn't as good against this deck in comparison to like let's say Chaos Control, for example.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's see if the opponent is consistent. They've Solemn Judgment at every Metamorphosis that they've had a chance to. And they do it again. All right, respect.
Yeah.
Got to protect that Spy. I guess Spy does look pretty good on this board, so can't
Yeah,
really blame
there's
them
not
there.
much the opponent really needs Spy to
Mm-hmm.
survive, honestly.
Yeah,
Because I don't really have like an answer. I mean, I have one Ring of Destruction, but I can't really get over the second one.
right. Breaker's not bad, I guess. I don't know, like at this point in the game, if you have a read on that back row, but yeah, I kind of like holding the Breaker as well. Premature Burial.
Yeah, I also had the swords. I didn't really feel the need to summon it.
Right. Premature Burial's not doing a whole lot here. The Rhoda can't grab a DD Warrior Lady to take out the Sangan because it's already in the grave. Gravekeeper
Right.
Spy, just another defensive element. Basically, I mean, you're just kind of walling up at this point, and you're probably going to win with this Ring of Destruction if I had to guess at some point, but
Yeah, and I think, like I mentioned, I took out one of the Mobiuses, so it would have been really nice. Like Mobius would be really good here,
yep.
basically. So when I have Mobius, sometimes I want to take it out, but when I don't have it, I keep thinking to myself like, "Wow, Mobius would have been perfect here."
Right. The opponent should have banished the Spy. I imagine that's probably not gonna be
Oh,
relevant, but
from the knock.
yeah, from the knock. They just send it to the graveyard by accident.
Oh, yeah, I completely missed that.
Yeah, probably just a little misclick, no big deal. Opponent inching ever so closer to Solemn Judgment doing some work here. Or not Solemn Judgment, Ring of Destruction doing some work here, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, easy Sakuretsu here. Moth, okay. Well, unfortunately, the opponent does have another Nox set. So I was talking a little crap about the Nox earlier, but they are going to get their value.
Yeah.
Pot of Greed coming down. See an Exiled Force now. Okay, it's not really that bad.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
there
the
goes the
opponent
Moth.
definitely has answers to that moth, unfortunately. Oh, I thought I used one of them, but I guess I'm mixing it up with one of the previous games.
That's
So I
all
guess
right.
both were in the deck.
Yep. All right, Sangan finally hitting the bin. No target. That's kind of funny.
Yeah, I was surprised myself when that happened.
Sir Priest getting in for 1700. Our opponent's going to set both Rhodas. I love it.
Y- Yeah, I'm surprised the opponent didn't set the solemn now that I think about it.
Right? Yeah. That's kind of interesting. Like, yeah, I'm not sure why they wouldn't here,
Yeah, like
honestly.
I had double back row set, and if the opponent's gonna commit to double back row as well, might as well just set the solemn as well at that point.
Right? We get the Prima back. We get to take out 2 Rhodas for free. It's pretty nice. Attack over Spy. So now the opponent, like, 1750? Now the ring is looking very,
So
very good,
close.
and they need to set the Solemn Judgment.
Yeah.
Oh, duo? Please, opponent. Yes.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
duel basically sealed the deal here.
Yeah. I love waiting on the ring as well. A lot of people would have just snapped that right off. But we can play around Book of
It's
Moon,
so
so why not?
satisfying.
And
Yeah,
yeah, gonna ring
here,
the Spy.
honestly, yeah, I could have held it till the end phase,
Hmm.
but I kind of just got impatient at that point because the duel was already dragging so long.
Sure.
I should
Yeah.
have waited till the end phase, though. That was a misplay on my part,
Yeah, I think it would have
for
been a
sure.
little bit better, but is the Book of Moon? Yeah, Book of Moon's gone. Warrior, I like to play multiple Book of Moons sometimes, like between the main and the side, just because I love the card. But yeah, I guess it is technically correct to hold it to the
Yeah,
end phase, but no harm, no foul. You got out of
to
there with the
be
win.
yeah, to be on the safer side, but it still ended up working, so that's what matters.
Yep. You got the dub here, and that was to kick off your tournament. But like I said before, congratulations on the top 16 for the GFC EU. Definitely a great accomplishment, a very great accomplishment for Water. Love to see this deck back up on the top. Like Void said, everybody, he has a YouTube channel. Go check that out. The link, of course, for that will be down in the description. Void, do you have anything else to say before we sign off here?
Yeah, well, thank you again, Cub, for having me on the channel. Like I said, it's definitely an honor. And yeah, to the viewers, if you guys want to check out my channel and see some additional good format content, make sure to check it out and subscribe. I'd greatly appreciate it. And yeah, that's it for me.
Absolutely. Thank you for coming on. But that is going to be our video for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. We'll be back with the next one.